Hey there guys, my name is Mittens, and today I'm going to start the first video of a series which is going to be based around a topic which is kind of central to my channel and to a lot of people who watch me, and that is private servers. If you've ever seen any of my channel's content, or if you have a look at it now, you'll see that a lot of my stuff has been on private server, and it's part of why my channel has grown the way it has, which is great. But they are kind of the focus of a lot of controversy. A lot of people ask me, should I play on private servers? Is it moral? Is it legal? And which are the best ones? And I kind of want to make some videos answering those questions, particularly the ones regarding the morality of these servers. This comes in the wake of Blizzard allegedly shutting down several streamers of the Vanilla WoW Blizz-like private server Nostarius, on which I play and have made videos, and people asking me if I knew about this, which I do. And so in this series I'll talk a bit about private servers and my opinion on what's happened. I think we're going to start off with the first question that you should ask yourself really, which is, why do private servers exist? What are they, and what is the issue regarding their morality and legality? So the basic definition of a private server is any World of Warcraft server that has been made and is run independently from Blizzard. So anybody who has made a server, whatever kind it might be, who is not affiliated and does not work for Blizzard, regardless of whether they make money from it or not, has made and is running a private server. But it's very important to understand that there are lots of different kinds of private servers. There are some fun servers, there are servers created just for a few people, some created for thousands of players. There are servers which are Blizz-like, which I'll talk about in a minute and which will be the focus of these videos, and there are servers which make money and servers which are completely free. But regardless, if they are not made by Blizzard, then they count as private servers. So what is a Blizz-like server, you might be asking me? Well, I'll tell you. A Blizz-like server, as you might have guessed, is a server which desires to emulate the Blizzard WoW product as closely as possible. And this is usually made in the form of previous expansion servers, such as Vanilla, or the Burning Crusade, or Wrath, or even the more recent ones. And some servers even provide current content, or almost current content, almost as a free alternative to playing the retail game. And as you probably already understood, this kind of explains why people actually play on these Blizz-like servers. It's because a lot of players, especially ones like me who have been playing since Vanilla, or the Burning Crusade, or even Wrath, kind of long for some of the elements of the game that no longer exist. Things like a lack of LFR, or having to run to get to your instances, or maybe even just the themes of those raids. People who, like myself, were big fans of the Warcraft franchise and love the characters such as Illidan and Arthas, who were more prevalent in the early expansions and hell, died in them. And these aren't the sort of players that you would typically think of as people who would be leaving the game to do something else. I mean, many of them are quite committed, and it's a central part of their lives. Many have been playing since the first days of Vanilla or the Burning Crusade. So why is it that they're going now to these older servers rather than playing retail or playing any servers that Blizzard has to offer? And the answer is quite simple. It's that we've already established that these players don't like the direction that the game has gone in, and Blizzard are completely unwilling. They have never, and will never, in my opinion, introduce servers which allow people to play on older versions of the game. And right now I'm going to explain why I think that is. Now, basically, Blizzard's product, and bear in mind that World of Warcraft is a product, it is something that Blizzard continuously makes money from people being subscribed to the game as it continues to be developed. Their product is set in the here and now. Blizzard have to put a huge amount of time and resources into creating raids, into creating new battlegrounds, new armor sets, all of these things. And all of that would be diminished and would be rendered quite pointless if they then allowed players to play on anything from Vanilla to Mists of Pandaria servers. I mean, how many people do you know who say, oh, the game was better during the Burning Crusade, or my favourite time was when I was playing Wrath, or anything like that? I mean, if they could honestly say that they were playing on a legitimate server that was based in an older expansion, a lot of them would either spend a lot of their time in that server, or would have alts on that server, and for all we know, it might cause a lot of people to leave the game because their friends might go to play older content that they're not interested in. The simple fact is, there would be an increasing number of players that wouldn't be playing current content, the stuff that Blizzard is actually having to spend money to create, and that would mean that it wouldn't really be very cost effective at all. I mean, a good microcosm of this to explain what I'm talking about is the way that sets are going at the moment with armor. Now, if you think that Blizzard introduced Transmog, allowing people to, you know, emulate any piece of armor and match it to their current gear, well, we've seen a quite noticeable decline in the quality of sets. I mean, if you look at the sets from, say, the Burning Crusade, or sets from Wrath. I mean, there's some really fantastic content made there, because it was all that people could wear, and Blizzard knew that they had to create content that people really wanted to wear. And whilst this might seem like a load of bullshit to some people, it's not that complicated, it's pretty simple. Blizzard know that most people are going to transmog their gear, so they don't need to put that much time or money into creating really interesting sets. I mean, Preach Gaming did a really good video on this, where he said that because the developers aren't putting a lot of time in, their attitude is that, oh well, people are going to probably transmog this gear, so I won't put much time into it. That's not how the attitude needs to be. But I'm digressing really here. All I'm trying to explain is that Blizzard know that if they made servers of the older game content, it would diminish the quality and the cost effectiveness of new content that they're creating. In my opinion, the only way in which Blizzard would ever create private servers, the only way that Blizzard would ever create older content servers would be if they were no longer creating new content for WoW. What I mean by that is this. If it gets to a point where Blizzard decide that it's no longer cost effective to create new content for WoW, if they're not really interested and want to move on to greener pastures and decide they're no longer making any patches or expansions, what I think they may do is they may keep a small team around to police the game, and they will open up all kinds of the initiations of the game, all of the other servers, like has been done on games such as EverQuest, so that people can play all these different expansions, and that would cause a resurgence of players to the game, people who have left, and it would encourage people to try out the game in different versions as well. It would effectively give you about 7 different games in one, really. But that will only happen in the future, and that is a big maybe. It may be that they cut ties completely when the game's in its last days. But that's pretty much explained to you why people play on these Blizz-like servers, and why they exist. They exist to fill the void for a product that no longer exists and may never ever exist under the Blizzard label. Blizzard do not create servers of the older game, they may never create servers of the older game, and a lot of players, especially those from the earlier era, want to go back to that time because they're unhappy with how the game is in retail now. So there you go guys, that was the first video in my private server debate series that I'm going to be making, and that was just explaining why people play on private servers, Blizz-like private servers that is, and why these servers actually exist. In the next video I'm going to be talking a little bit more about the morality of these different servers, and why certain ones have such a high population, and why Blizzard is cracking down on them so heavily. So stay tuned for that guys, I'll see you later, my name has been Mittens, stay awesome.